For some people, Christmas is a year-round business, but for most of us, it means thinking, oh my goodness, what am I going to get him or her as a Christmas present? Well, if the him or her on your shopping list is a computer user, it's easy. You know exactly what they want. Some neat new software, a nice peripheral, or maybe a little laptop. Today, we have a list of great gift suggestions for the computer user on your Christmas shopping list on this special holiday edition of the Computer Chronicles.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by McGraw-Hill, publishers of Byte Magazine, and VIX, the Byte Information Exchange. In print and online, Byte and VIX serve computer professionals worldwide with detailed information on new hardware, software, and technologies.
Welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee, and this is Santa Claus. I know you, Gary Kildall. Gary, I know you're a high-tech junkie. You've got all the toys you can think of, from a Lamborghini to a computerized video editing system. I've got something you would like for Christmas. This is the new compact 286 SLT laptop. Runs on batteries, 3 hours worth, beautiful VGA screen. Very small, 14 pounds, can fit in your lap on an airplane, even in coach. Removable keyboard, removable battery pack, so you can even get more than the 3 hours. It's just a nice little machine. The only catch is, you really have to be Santa Claus to afford this one. It's about $6,000. Gary, ideally, if you could have anything you wanted from the computer industry for Christmas, what would it be?
Well, Stuart, I've been waiting around for the Dynabook. This is a concept that was introduced at Xerox PARC early 70s. 8.5 by 11, maybe a 3-hole punch computer.
Right. Fits
in your briefcase, whatever, notebook. And the idea, as the name implies, it's a book. It's an electronic book. You can learn everything from calculus to whatever your high school courses happen to be, along with recipes and cookbooks, whatever. Real compact form. The nice thing about it is all the technologies are coming together now, so we can actually have one of these things maybe by next Christmas. Small disk drives, hard disk drives, small floppy disk drives, little itty-bitty CD-ROMs, things like that, and they're all coming together, very, very low power. So we could have one. So, Karen, if you're watching, next Christmas Santa wants a Dynabook.
Okay, the super portable. Today we're going to be joined by Jan Lewis, Paul Schindler, Wendy Woods, and a sack full of great presents for the computer user on your holiday shopping list. We start out by visiting a computer retailer to find out what products are hot this Christmas shopping season.
Once a year, computer hardware and software vendors become just like other retailers, who count on Christmas shoppers to round out the year's sales. New technology displaces the old, while old favorites like flight simulators and adventure games are solidly popular. While it's been over 10 years since the first Apple IIs hit the market, retailers haven't seen a slowdown in consumer buying.
Well, I'm always scared to death of the market being saturated, but no, it doesn't look like it is at all. People are still buying the basic PCs, which a lot of the manufacturers have abandoned, yet people really do still want them. And then there are the other group of people who have the PCs and are upgrading particularly to something like a 386 computer, which is much faster and is capable of doing things PCs can't do.
Among new items this year is a database of city street maps called Streets. For those who travel by car, the program will plot the most efficient route from point A to point B in major American cities, although it won't predict accidents, traffic jams, or breakdowns. Also new this year is a game for almost grown-ups called Looking for Love, about a clumsy but determined young rogue named Larry. Players can choose different levels of play, from pure innocence to lurid excess. For the information-hungry, there's Microsoft Bookshelf, a CD-ROM-based collection of reference works. Starting from a single word, Bookshelf will search through its encyclopedia, almanac, and dictionary until it hits upon the exact link. Of course, you need a CD-ROM player to use it. This year, more than ever, it seems like everyone is selling software, from toy stores to department stores. But that doesn't seem to worry the corner computer store.
Thank you, sir. Joining joining us in the studio now is a new version of Santa Claus. This is Paul Schindler this time, our regular software reviewer and the senior technical analyst with PC Week magazine. Next to Paul, another familiar face, Jan Lewis, who is the founding editor of Hyper Age magazine and the president of Lewis Research. Gary.
We've got all sorts of good Christmas suggestions
sure
on the table, and Santa's going to start out. Go ahead.
Well, ho, ho, ho. Richard Dalton of Keep Trek Corporation, as usual, helped me pick the stuff that I wanted to mention for the Christmas show. For a mere $40, you can get Ken Skier's No Squint, one of the hot laptop utilities, turns your little line into a square so you can see your cursor, and it only takes up 1,000 bytes of memory, which in a laptop is a critical circumstance. Now, you've got a desk full of floppies, I've got a desk full of floppies, everybody's got a desk full of floppies. If they are 3.5-inch floppies, Macintosh and the new IBM format, for a mere $40 from Vertical Solutions in Olympia, Washington, you can get this dandy little vertical disk storage box. Holds 240 disks, and you can find what you need for a change.
Okay.
Tony Pompili works with me at PC Week. He and several others have written Ventura Publishing. It's a mere $40 in bookstores everywhere, and the reason you're paying $40 is you got a floppy inside of it with a bunch of formats that you can use to become an instant publisher. I know you did a show earlier this season on disk utilities. Optune is going to give Peter Norton a run for his money in making your disk work faster. Groupware, the hot buzzword of 1988, and before it peters out in '89, Robert Johansson,
Get the book now.
of the Institute for the Future, for a mere $30, has written the authoritative description of Groupware, which really is going to be important in the future. And of course, Peter Norton's very latest, version 4.5, with his Disk Doctor, 31 ways to tell how sick your disk is. But more importantly, this is artificial intelligence-assisted disk repair. And for those of us who lack the real thing, artificial intelligence can be really important. And that is $110. Finally, $500, but a truly remarkable breakthrough from Quadram. This is the first, essentially it's a portable fax card. Instead of having to open up the case and slip a card in and disrupt your buses and the whole line of problems, you put this, attaches to the COM port on your PC, and if you're in an office, you just move it from PC to PC. Whoever needs the fax card, they get the fax card. I think it's a fantastic innovation, a clever idea, and it works just as well. It receives faxes just as well as the regular fax cord, which may or may not be something proper to say about it.
Okay, Gary, what do you have for us?
I'm on. Okay. Well, if you're tired of playing flight simulator games, you can try Formula One. Our 12-year-old Forrest will tell you that this is a really good game because it's real hard to get them away from it.
Race car drivers.
Race car drivers.
Okay.
And you can go into the Monaco courses, Germany, Brazil, Japan, so forth, and race all the great drivers. I think this is probably around $30 if I remember correctly. Another one that's kind of neat here is Home Video Producer. And this is about $30, $35, whatever. And it lets you make up the titles for your own home recording.
Desktop video.
Desktop video, exactly. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show this, basically. And I've got the whole system up here and running. I've kind of preloaded it with some things. The first panel down here shows an effect. Well, each one of these in the slideshow is an effect of some sort. This is a border effect. This will be a fill of a picture. And this is some text effects. Now, below those, you'll see things like a wipe from the right, the time it takes to make the wipe and so forth. And I'll go ahead and just run this so you can take a look at it. This is going to be a title for a little movie that Christy did yesterday for the show. Okay.
So you created the title in the software.
That's correct. Now all we need to do is then cable this off to our home video recorder.
It comes with a cable that attaches to the card.
You use a regular connector like this. Okay. So let's go ahead and run this so I can find the right panel. There it is.
You see, I do titles, but I have to go to a local studio and I have to pay him $30 an hour to do the titles. You pay $30 once, you've got this, and
that's right.
They're out of business.
Well, the resolution may not be quite as good as
what's
the
this, Gary?
commercial. Okay, now this is going to be the preface of our little movie here. So here's the wipe from the right for the first panel. Here's the picture,
nice.
wipe from the left, and the text coming out. Pokey meets Godzilla. Okay, now here's the great peripheral for your home video or your desktop video. 8mm integrated recorder, playback, TV set.
VCR and TV
VCR and TV set, right. About $1,300, I believe. Now here's our little movie. We'll put this in here. Now normally, what you'd do is you'd cable these two up, and then you just go ahead and hit the record button when you had the title up.
And record the effects onto the tape.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and play this.
This is the movie you did the title for.
This is
there it is.
Christie's, yeah. Okay, here we go.
A high level of work you're into, Gary.
Pokey meets Godzilla. Whoops, there it is.
Don't try this at home, kids. Right? This was not done on a home unit. It wasn't, right? That's right. It's still beautiful.
Gary, you actually got the titles with the video coming out of the computer without gen lock or any of the fancy stuff.
So it's right off a CGA card. That isn't restricted, by the way, as far as I can tell, is a CGA.
Yeah.
Jan, what do you have for us?
We have a few real good things, and real useful things. One of the focuses here is going to be the laptops, and they've really picked up, as you know, for the past couple of years. There are some problems, and these products here are going to solve them. Traveling Software, who's come up with a lot of good, innovative ideas, came up with something called Battery Watch. It's a simple disc, and what happens is it'll actually watch your batteries as they run down, just like you watch a fuel gauge in a car. So you're not stuck at the end saying you're out of batteries and you're 300 miles from a wall outlet. The other thing that it does is when you have to recharge them, you have to basically, ideally, discharge everything in it and then go ahead and recharge. This does that. It's called the deep discharge. Yeah, and that does it automatically for you. Very, very handy, useful. This is a $39 product.
That's great.
From the same company, $79 product, the Ultimate Portable Attaché. And what happens here is that typically, even though it's portable, you're still carrying around a lot of different components, different pieces. What happens here is you fit your portable in here. They have a little pack for software. There's room for cables. There's a spot here for your printer. And then there's a whole lot of extra little pouches and things in here. So it makes it real, real handy.
Very good for a laptop user.
Yeah, it's wonderful for a laptop user.
Okay.
And then the last one I have is something that's very, very useful to a huge number of people who are sitting there with PCs or XTs or compact equivalents. And what this is the Intel Inboard 386 PC. And what happens is it's a simple board for about $1,100. You put it into your PC or XT or equivalent compact, and it basically turns your machine into a 386 machine. So
$1,000 for the bargain.
$1,000 and you got a 386, exactly.
That's fantastic. Okay, my turn. I have a couple goodies here I want to show you. First of all, this is a nice inexpensive thing, a little software program. It's mail order. Nobody's ever heard of it, called Do Color. Problem is right now, all the hot software comes requiring CGA. A lot of people still have monochrome monitors, a Hercules card or something. They can't use it. This little software fakes the game or the program you have into thinking you have CGA and lets you run the programming. It's from a company called Wilkinson Software, Westminster, California, $30, called Do Color. This is a lovely little item. If you have a crowded desk and a big AT keyboard, this solves the problem. This is 60% smaller than the AT keyboard. It's XT or AT compatible. A wonderful little keyboard, as you can see. It just takes up very little space on your desk. $150 for that one.
It's got a nice feel to it also.
It's not bad at all. Now, the hot one I want to show you over here is what's up on the PC over here. Most people think if you don't have a Mac, you don't have an Amiga, an Atari, you can't do music. Well, this is called AdLib. It's a card and software, $245, which lets you do very powerful music composition on an IBM PC. This is in the jukebox mode right now, and just to show you what the thing sounds like, we have Jingle Bells loaded in here right now. And you see a little record turning at the top, and you can just call up any of those songs. Not too bad, but it's not just a jukebox program. Let me show you what else we can do to get out of this thing and actually get into the composition program. I guess I have to hit F2 to stop and get out of this particular program and go into Composer. And it's a pretty powerful little program which lets you do full music visual composition, lots of different voices. You can see everything that's going on. I'll show you in a minute a particular song which I tried to create, which is loaded in here and which isn't too good, but it's all right. It shows you it is human and it makes the same mistakes you do. And there's a little piece of music which we put in there. And you can see the visual composer on the screen. Don't laugh at my music here. This is Christmas music. Keyboard on the left. All the notes you play, you put them in there. All the different voices and so on. Very nice. Lets you do music on a PC for $245. One little last thing. Very cheap. $395 if you're a CompuServe user and you get lost on CompuServe and you'd like to know where everything is. The final map of CompuServe, exactly where all the things are, and that's the end of that.
That's $3.95.
$3.95. Now, yes, Virginia, there is a Macintosh also, and in just a minute we'll be back with lots of hot Christmas gifts for the Mac user on your list, so stay with us. Joining us in the studio now is our reporter Wendy Woods, and Wendy also, of course, editor-in-chief of News Bites. Back again, Jan Lewis, Paul Schindler, Gary. Let's go to Jan.
Let's go to Jan directly.
Great. We've got some real exciting Macintosh products for Christmas. First one I want to show you is called Mac Recorder. It's a real simple device. It plugs right into the Macintosh, and what it does is it allows you to record. It's got a built-in mic, it's got a space for a mic or a space for a line. You can go directly from your stereo, let's say. You record whatever you want, you then bring it into the computer, you can play it back, or you can apply a variety of different special effects to it and play it back. So it's tremendously fun. I've done a lot of things just recording off of TV, let's say.
An audio recorder.
It's audio
that
recording,
interfaces with the Mac.
it digitizes it,
Okay.
and gets it into the Macintosh. It's a lot of fun. But it's Mac Recorder. It's from Farallon Software.
How much, do you know?
And it's $199.
Okay.
Real fun product. Another one we want to talk about is called Hyper Animator, and this thing will blow you away. What this does basically is, let's say it'll take pictures of your face, let's say 30 different frames of your face,
Right.
put it in there, and then apply speech to it, and using the frames from your space will actually make it look like you're doing the talking.
It's great. We did this at Macworld, by the way.
Did you? Yeah.
So it was wonderful.
This is a wonderful product.
Your own Max Headroom, as it were.
That's right.
Then we've got a HyperCard program here called a series called Amanda Stories. This series is features a couple of main characters, one of them being a camel called Your Faithful Camel. And this one I thought was particularly appropriate for the Christmas show. What you have here is your camel on a flying carpet, which comes from another one of the series, doing various things at the North Pole. And we're going to see, let's say he's going to open a suitcase. What's in here? Well, there seems to be some sort of garment in here, and sure enough, it's a parka.
Is this sort of a kid's adventure game under HyperCard?
This is, yes, it's designed for anybody from 3 and up, and theoretically it's for kids, but I know an awful lot of adults who enjoy playing it, including myself, as a matter of fact. And you actually go through a series of adventures. There are multiple paths here. Let's take a look. This one is beckoning us. Aha, we have got polar bear here, and look at the little baby polar bear waves. And let's see what we've got down here.
It's eating you, I guess.
Given the alternatives, yes, I'd like to be waved at. Let's see what we've got in here. They have a little game here. So the camels and the polar bear are playing a game together. And what happens here is you actually go through different adventures. Here they're on an iceberg. Let's see what else they can get to do here. Aha, they see something. Let's see what it is. You click right on it. Uh-oh, it looks like a shark. And you see the water waves, etc. Let's see what else. Let's see what else these guys can do.
Okay,
Let's
this
see
is
up
called
here.
Amanda Stories.
Yeah, Amanda Stories is the name of the series.
It runs under HyperCard.
It runs under HyperCard. It has a variety of different paths. Anybody can use it, as you can see. It has a variety of different paths. You can actually, we went along one path. We saw one line of stories, but by clicking on different spots, you actually see the camels go in different directions.
So kind of creative adventure game for kids.
Exactly. You create your own story.
Okay.
Exactly.
Wendy, what are your favorite picks?
Well, actually, these are, I have 3 gifts in 3 price ranges.
Okay.
The first is for Macintosh users or IBM users, I understand. This is a great desk accessory and the kind of thing that I was hoping I could find when I first got my computer in 1983, because I have a lot of text files that I have to search through. Gopher is a desk accessory for the Macintosh which will search through any kind of word processing file, whether it's formatted or just ASCII, and it will associate words. You can say within 2 or 3 lines, these 2 words, find these 2 words. It'll allow you to cut and paste from what it finds to any other document. You can do it online, etc.
So the bit is when you can't find something.
When you can't find something, this will go through either the whole disk or a series of files or folders or whatever you specify.
I use this, by the way, and it has really saved me on a number of occasions.
Me
it's
too.
Wonderful.
Me
Too.
I hear it's great. It's the best on the market for text retrieval, I think.
Yeah.
And then there's the medium price. This was $80, by the way. This is the medium price gift for the Macintosh user called the Macintosh Bible, which is definitely, I keep it by my computer because it's got all the tips, tricks, and shortcuts that you need to navigate a Macintosh, which you'd have to search through manuals ad infinitum to find. This is $28, published by Goldstein and Blair. It's now in its 2nd edition printing.
Ultimate Mac Manual.
The ultimate.
Okay.
You can either get it from them, they're in Berkeley, or you can get it in many of the local bookstores. And finally, if you're on a budget, but you're not on a diet, this is the Chocolate Bite. It's 2 3.5-inch diskettes, which are made of 100% milk chocolate. And it's easy to install, just open mouth.
I wish everything was that easy to install.
$13.95 each from the Warehouse chain or some other local stores.
And you know, it shows the way the world is going. Last year it was a 5 1/4 inch chocolate knife, and now it's a 3 1/2 inch chocolate.
Paul, what do you have for us?
But denser. Well, I've got Crystal Quest, which I am telling you is, now I know you might dispute me on this, one of the most addictive and interesting games now available on the Mac. My 7-year-old daughter Marlo is absolutely mad about Crystal Quest, and she really likes it. So very humorous instructions, which we haven't got the time to go through here. I've been playing it all week, trying to get good enough at it to actually show you how things work on it. It's the mouse control is very curious. I just blew myself up there.
What do you do?
Part of the demonstration.
What's the game about?
The game is you're consuming all of these power crystals. And in fact, if you can catch up with that diamond there, it's worth tens of thousands of points. It's your basic, you know, shooting things, eating things, and then going out the hole at the bottom. Except that, of course, I just wiped myself out.
You got to be a kid, Paul.
You got to be a kid to play it. Tremendous game. Crystal Quest, $80 for the Macintosh.
Gary, your turn.
This is similar to Amanda's, the game that Jan showed us. It's called The Manhole from. Well, this is Mediagenics, also Activision division of that. And it says here on the back, it's where Alice would go if the White Rabbit had HyperCard. So it's a HyperCard game. And the same sort of ideas. You click on objects and you can explore, and it looks like a very, very interesting game. Getting off the Macintosh.
So once again, using HyperCard for really an interesting creative kids game. Okay, what is this?
This is for all the people that like kids,
like
and
you,
the kids and the grown-up kids that like to
tell the truth. This is yours, Gary. Okay? Not your son's.
Flight simulation games, and it substitutes for the joystick or the keyboard, and it gives you throttle control, back and forth, so forth, and you can shoot them up buttons and so forth. And this is called Max. So a nice little accessory for the flight simulator people in the world.
Okay, my turn. Well, I've got 3 little goodies here I want to show you. First of all, this is brand new and a lovely little machine. If you really like little laptops, 4 pounds, the NEC Ultralight, a gorgeous little machine. About one, it's about, we talked about Dynabook at one point in another show. This is something like that. About 8.5 by 11, very small computer. No disk drive, but it comes with 2 megabytes you can get in here of a static RAM. So you can load everything in here and never really worry about the disk drive. And of course, it reduces your battery drain and so on. Rechargeable batteries. Very nice little machine. 4-pound laptop. It does everything. Now, if you're more into games and toys, this is kind of neat. You may have seen this advertised somewhere. This is called Talking Baseball. Very clever little computer and speech synthesizer in here. An announcer does play-by-play of the whole game, and of course it varies depending on the 2 players. So we just turn this little thing on.
The cheering crowd.
Brothers baseball. It's the national team and
the Mel Allen of this. Anyhow, you go on and this guy's the pitcher and this guy's the batter. You can bunt, you can steal, you can squeeze.
Put in yes or no. Yes, there will be 2 players. The Hall of Fame team is the away team and will bat first.
So you see this guy's pretty smart here. Anyhow, it's amazing. I mean, it gives you play-by-play. It never sounds the same. The guy describes the game, which is different and unique every single time.
What is this so far?
$79. It's called Talking Baseball, and it comes with these little cartridges. This happens to be an All-Star American League team versus an All-Star National League team and so on. Last but not least, if I can grab the mouse, this is a marvelous game. This is called Shuffle Puck from Broderbund. This game simulates the actual physical experience of playing air hockey. I mean, it's the same thing because the movements of the mouse are the same thing. We're in Shuffle Puck Cafe, and I pick a partner to play, or I'll pick that robot to play. So I just sort of punch on him, and here we are playing Shuffle Puck. Now, this is great.
How good is the robot, Stu?
The robot, fortunately, is not too good. That's why I picked him. Okay.
But he's good enough to score.
He just beat me. He's really the dummy. Actually, you can program the robot to play any kind of game. You see the little hand comes in and that's my serve. But it's just a marvelous game, and you can program the robot to play any way you want. So if you want a particular practice partner, you say, here's the way I want you to play. And
just like me on Crystal Quest.
Anyhow, no, it's not color, but you can pick any of those various characters inside the cafe, and each have different characteristics. It's just an absolutely marvelous game. You talk about addictive. It's been addictive to me. Anyhow, that's all the time we have. A lot of great toys. If we only had the money to buy all these wonderful toys. We wish you a very happy holiday. Hope we'll see you here again next week on the Computer Chronicles. In the Random Access file this week, despite the pressure from competitors, Lotus has announced that it is raising wholesale prices on its software products, including 123. The price hikes go into effect in January. It's expected that the price of 123 will go up about $20. Lotus says the price increase will help pay for new marketing incentives to encourage dealers to provide better support. IBM has introduced Linkway, a product described as HyperCard for the PC. It features point-and-click operations to create customized information management applications. Linkway will sell for $110. And IBM is apparently thinking about selling low-end PS2s through department stores. Big Blue is now experimenting with sales of Model 25 and Model 30 PS2s in several South Florida department stores. Infocorp has just released sales figures for the month of July 1988, and they show that the Macintosh SE was the top-selling microcomputer that month with 7% of sales. Second was AST's Premium 286, and third was the Epson Equity 1. In dollar volume, the Compact Desk Pro 386 led the list. In total company sales, Apple was first, IBM second, and Compaq third. Commodore has announced new distribution deals with 7 major retail chains. Amigas will now be found in Software Etc., Electronic Boutique, Walden Software, and PC Warehouse, among others. And Commodore announced an upgraded operating system for the Amiga called version 1.3. It features an expanded library of printer drivers plus 15 new utilities. AOX Incorporated has announced a new add-on board that will let you turn your existing 286 PC into a 386 machine. The card will feature the Intel 386SX processor and a small cache to increase speed. It's priced at under $500 and is set to ship in the second quarter of next year. Briar Technology has announced a new 3.5-inch floppy disk system that can store over 40 megabytes on a disk. The drive is intended for backup applications replacing tape drives. Earlier this month, Zydex announced a 20-megabyte floppy disk drive. Finally, if you're thinking of investing in a computer company, try a software company first. A recent survey of top computer companies found that the top 3 for return on investment were all software houses. The leaders were Lotus, Oracle, and Microsoft. Hardware companies, Apple and Compaq, were next, finishing 4th and 5th. That's it for this week's Chronicles. We'll see you next time.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by McGraw-Hill, publishers of Byte magazine, and BIX, the Byte Information Exchange. In print and online, Byte and BIX serve computer professionals worldwide with detailed information on new hardware, software, and technologies.
For a transcript of this week's Computer Chronicles, send $4 to PTV Publications, Post Office Box 701, Kent, Ohio 44240. Please indicate program date.